While Evan does this short little text, or whatever he was just doing a second ago, let's enjoy Alan Gray's Swinging Doors. Okay.
Oh, that's over.
So, we are starting this vlog right now, as opposed to the thing below about the 6th graders, not the about us, because it can obviously be confusing if I just point down. The whole thing is, we do know that some of these women look
Older than 6th graders, but that's kind of missing the point of this. The main thing is just the degradation of our society, as how modest and how people really cared about going to school, not for seeking attention and not being there just, you know, to look good and to try and get a boyfriend even when they're only, you know, age 10 or whatever. And there are things, you know, if you're saying like, oh, well, Evan, that's not right, you know, there are no girls that, you know, have sex at the age of 10 and stuff like that. No, there are. They're on the internet. You can find them. It's really, really messed up when you can see all these kids that should be focusing more on being a kid and not being a slave to society in a sense. And what I mean by that is mainly they don't really need to be concerned with what the world thinks, and they don't really need to care about anything aside from being a kid.
Now, I can perfectly agree with him on certain senses that I have come across a few people. There was one girl that was my brother's friend that I used to have live with us because her parents kicked her out at the age of 13 because she got pregnant possibly 3 months before she turned 13 by a 25-year-old. That's kind of sickening that a 12-year-old gets pregnant by a 25-year-old. I don't know what happened to the dad or whatnot, but that's none of my business and it's not my concern. But that's just an example of how screwed in the head that our youngins, I want to say, I'm not going to say youth, but because we're pretty young ourselves, but how people younger than us are experiencing the world much differently. And, you know, we all hear it from our parents and stuff when we were growing up, like, you don't know what it's like, blah, 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 this and that, giving us some kind of experience to, some kind of wisdom so that we don't have to experience this ourselves. But like people our age, 20, you know, in their 20s, late or early 20s, just becoming 19, 18, and stuff like that, we're all from the same era. And we all screwed up big at one point, and you can't say that you haven't. Well, that's just a perfect example that we look back now and we are mirroring our parents simply by saying, this is wrong. We should have listened so we could have influenced the younger ones to listen. Now this whole thing about the 6th graders, that is wrong. That is wrong. Granted, that picture has older people in it. You can clearly see that. But just the simple fact that you do walk around these days, and you will, perfect example, you will go to the mall, and you will see these 10, 12-year-old girls wearing short shorts and tops that reveal their stomachs, and their stomachs are belly button piercings, and they're flaunting their stuff, whatever, shake what your mama gave ya, old school terminology days. But it's wrong, and I'm not saying, you know, that it's completely wrong for all those things, but it is completely wrong, first off, to let your child who's 11 or 12 go to the mall without someone older there. And I'm not saying it has to be the parent, it has to be someone who's 20 plus up watching them.
Be an older sibling.
Yeah, it could be 16, 17, just to make sure that they're safe. I myself have a daughter, and there is no way in hell I'm letting her dress like a sleazy skank, excuse my language, to go to the mall and impress. No, I don't mind giving my child piercings when she's 11 or 12 because she wants one. Whatever. I had 56 piercings altogether, and by the time I was 14, I had my face completely covered. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to pierce my daughter's belly button and then give her short shorts and an exposed stomach top.
Just to impress someone.
Exactly. I'm not going to let her go to the mall like that, yet alone. I'm not going to let her go to the mall like that with 2 of her friends. No way, no.
And just to kind of put it in perspective too, you kind of know that you got a problem with society, and as far as decency is concerned, when Abercrombie and Fitch, in their kids section, has thongs and push-up bras for kids that are around 10 years old. Yeah, you can go. I'll totally put a link on here to their online store so you can see it. Yeah, no, it's pretty messed up. So
That's weird.
and it's kind of a
disappointment.
Yeah, it's a real disappointment, and I mean that's like one of the main things. It's like when I was growing up, I mean, it kind of comes with a thing. I mean, you'll see all these memes and stuff like that on the internet saying like, oh, you know, when I was a kid, I had a book, maybe a push-start racing car, and Duplos or something like that. And now all these kids have iPhones, iPads, MacBooks. Like that's kind of some of the stuff that's gone is the mass consumerism that's happened, where all these kids see all this nice stuff and they're like, oh my god, I need it right now. No, you don't. I mean, I didn't even have a game system up until I was 13.
To be completely honest, I didn't even have a cell phone until I was 16.
Yeah, I didn't have a cell phone until I turned 17. That was 3 years ago, because...
Yeah, mine was 4.
Yeah.
My parents...
And it was just so that they could keep in touch with me and make sure I was safe. It wasn't so that I could call up my friends and have them call me. No, it was like a only use if you have to type of thing.
Yep, that's all my phone was. My first phone was
And I had to pay for it.
Mine was prepaid, Virgin Mobile, with 200 minutes. 10 cents a tax. Not happening because I didn't have a job to actually pay any of that.
So yeah, just kind of food for thought. Just a short little video. Don't want to bore you all too much, but there's going to be a lot more of these to come.
So many more.
Yeah, so till we see you later.
Peace.